Defending the fast players always seems to be a struggle in all FC series. Once they find the space ahead of them, it is very hard to defend them even if you're on their tail, and most people struggle with their runs. This is why this video will give you everything you need to become a defensive god when it comes to these running duels. And in the end, I will show you a very underestimated method that works disgustingly well to stop the running duels even if you fail with your initial challenge. Selecting the right player is the first step to defending a running duel. Identify if a potential receiver can run into the free space ahead of him. You need to stop this, and that is why you need to switch to the closest defender. This correct and early player switch is very important since it allows you to close off the gap between you and the attacker even before the running duel starts. There are two methods to achieve that player switch. You can either use the L1, LB switch if your desired defender is already marked with the second man indicator above his head. However, the optimal defender might not be marked every single time. That is why you also need to use the right stick switching. See the direction of the player you want to switch to from your current player and tap the right stick in that direction gently to instantly execute the player switch. You need to use and combine more defending mechanics like this when you're playing FC25. That is why we created the perfect complete defending course on the Guide Plus, which you can access by clicking the link in the description. The most common mistake player makes while defending a running duel is to go straight at the runner. Remember, you are trying to catch a player who is moving forward. That means they are not static, and if you make your run towards their exact location, you might end up falling back. This is why you have to go with the correct running trajectory and aim for the space ahead of the attacker. That means you have to run back and also get close to the opponent to be able to get a challenge in, so the most optimal direction to move is the diagonal one towards the running lane. There is a crucial factor that will affect the trajectory you're running at, the pace and the momentum difference. Once the opponent receives the ball in the open, you might have to maintain your speed before getting into the challenge. That means you have to run directly at the back for a couple of steps before getting closer to the dribbler, and then get a diagonal move towards the space ahead of him. Having the first couple of steps directly at the back allows you to understand the pace difference between both players, so you can decide if you want to challenge the player in a short distance or sprint back a bit more to confront him in the longer run. So the next question is, how should you approach and get a challenge in when you get close? One of the methods that could work is to only sprint and not pressing anything else. This mostly works if you have the momentum and the pace advantage, especially if the player pushes the ball out of his feet. You can run towards the ball's direction and recover it. However, in some cases, only running will fail you and the opponent can get past you easily. This is why you have to consider using your physicality over the faster attackers if you're controlling a nearby defender. One of the best ways to get physically in is to use the advanced defending. If used correctly, this method will use your player's strength and your defender will push the dribbler with his shoulder. However, you need to have advanced defending turned on beforehand since it's not the default defending style. Simply head over to your game settings menu and switch from tactical defending to advanced defending. How it works is simple. Get on the same level with your opponent, because this won't work if you try it when you're behind your opponent. When you're side by side and almost have a physical contact, you need to hold on to your X or A button, but the most important thing is to point out the running direction of your opponent. This will start a challenge, push the player towards his side, and lets you retrieve the ball. With the bigger defenders who have a physical advantage over faster but smaller dribblers, this method is a game changer. Defenders with bruiser playstyle are even stronger with the shoulder challenges. Whenever you have a player with the silver playstyle or playstyle plus, try to get the advantage by using the advanced defending. Another method that includes physicality is the shielding with L2, LT. It works pretty fine in the situations where the attacker either pushes the ball too wide out of his feet, or if he's making a run to catch a pass in the space. In that case, try to create a physical contact by getting closer to the attacker using your left analog stick. Once you have the contact, hold on to the L2, LT button, put your body in front of the runner, and deny him from getting to the ball. After going in for a challenge like this, you have to complete your mission by securing the ball safely away from the opponent. If you don't, you might again lose the ball since you're still in the challenge with the attacker. There are two simple ways to do this. The first one is to use your dribbling skills. Right after getting the ball back, you will see a clear space towards the back. Dribbling the ball or even running there with it will secure the challenge since you still have your back towards the opponent and explore other chances. If you don't want to run away, you can also use a skill move such as a simple ball roll, which allows you to shield the ball away from the opponent while also getting another angle towards the attack. The second thing you can do is to pass the ball instantly towards your teammate. If you're getting close to the ball before the opponent and don't want to take the risk of controlling it, you can always look out for your teammates and play a one-touch pass towards them. that would safely secure the challenge. Let's get to the final point. If you fail to win a running duel and fall back, it doesn't mean you can't deny the opponent. Anything can be achieved, well, for a price in that case. You can execute a professional foul, bring the opponent down for the cost of the yellow card, but also deny a huge attacking chance from happening. Get closer to the opponent from the back and press the X or A button while holding onto the R1 or B button. This will do the trick. If you're also interested in the other side of the coin and become incredibly strong against those defenders in running duels, click the video that appears on your screen and watch it right away. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, take care and peace.